There are many secrets of making money that the rich will not tell the poor. The rich don't tell these secrets, and the poor don't know them. So the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Making money requires imitation and copying, not innovation. Innovation, for most people in the world, is too difficult. The rich, on the other hand, seldom pursue innovation. Only the poor think about how to innovate all day long. For the rich, the core action of making money is to imitate. A good business has been verified by the market to be successful. As long as you follow the cord and copy it, you can make money. And if you engage in innovation, there is a high probability that you will lose money. To make money is to do simple things. Only if it is simple, can it be repeated, only if it is repeated, can it be sustainable, and only if it lasts, can it continue to make money. The poor often complicate simple things. Look at those bosses on Douyin who earn millions every year. What they do is post videos, accumulate traffic, and then make deals and collect money. Is it hard? It's not difficult at all, it's so easy. So why can't the poor? Because the poor think too complicatedly about these things. Making money does not depend on how many good ideas you have, but on whether you implement these ideas in place. There are many money-making projects on the internet. Some people study these projects every day, but they have not implemented them. Even if you only do one of the projects and make this project to the extreme, you will definitely be able to make money in the end. Making money is not a process, but an incidental result of solving problems. Rich people solve problems for others and then collect money. The poor, on the other hand, have never thought clearly about what they can do and what problems they can solve. If you focus on making money, there is a high probability that you will not make money in the end. Rich people will build after-sleep income. What is after-sleep income? Even after you fall asleep, you will continue to receive money. In the internet age, you can do self-media, write articles, post videos, and record courses, all of which can continue to bring you income after you fall asleep. If you don't build an after-sleep income, just work hard and move bricks every day, you will never become rich. Making money is not to learn first, but to practice. Only the poor learn every day. Poor people buy all kinds of books, participate in various communities, enroll in various courses, and learn a lot of useless things. And rich people seldom study, let alone spend money to study. To make money, you don't need to learn too much, but do it first. In the process of trying, you will encounter various problems. If you don't work, you will never encounter these problems. If you encounter a problem, you will solve the problem. If the problem is solved, you will make money. Rich people find the career they want to do for a long time very early, and then devote themselves to it. The poor, on the other hand, spend their whole lives doing jobs they don't like. Rich people will take the initiative to fight for it. Resources are limited. If you don't take the initiative and don't plunder, then others will take away the resources. The poor, however, are too timid, they look forward and backward when doing things, and they are afraid of wolves before and tigers behind. When they waited and watched, the opportunity was gone. The reality is cruel. If the poor can know these truths earlier, they will not take too many detours, and they will not just be poor in this life. Why do Cantonese look different? Many friends have this feeling. Guangdong compatriots look a little different from compatriots in the Yangtze and Yellow River basins. For example, the following is a typical Guangdong man. Why do Cantonese look different? There is also the following, a typical Cantonese woman. Why do compatriots in Guangdong look different from compatriots in the Yangtze and Yellow River basins? The answer is this, because the Cantonese people are descendants of Han Chinese and biomixed blood. Yes, most of the Cantonese we know are descendants of Han Chinese and biomixed blood. The maternal DNA analysis of Cantonese shows the following results. 80% of Cantonese, their mothers, can be traced back to Bai women. Only 20% of Cantonese can trace their mothers to Han women. However, paternity is different. Paternal DNA studies showed the following results. The fathers of 50% of Cantonese can be traced back to the Han men who went south to Guangdong in the Song dynasty. The fathers of 10% to 20% of Cantonese can be traced back to the Han men who went south during the Qin and Han dynasties. 30% to 40% of Cantonese fathers can be traced back to ancient Baiyu men. The appearance of Baiyu people restored according to the skull. Did the above make people dizzy? Well, Lao Fen, let me be more simple and rude, and simply say, most of our Cantonese today are descendants of Han men who married local Baiyu women in Guangdong in ancient times. In this way, is it probably clear? Interestingly, the results of DNA analysis are generally consistent with our Chinese historical records. Historical data shows, after the Great Qin Empire sent troops to conquer Guangdong, Zhao Tuo, a general stationed in Guangdong, saw many soldiers in the Qin army beating bachelors. Zhao Tuo wrote a report to Qin Shi Huang, asking Qin Shi Huang to send at least 30,000 women to the Qin army. We settle down. Schematic diagram of the Great Qin Empire's southern expedition to Baiyu. However, in the end, Qin Shi Huang only sent a little more than 10,000 women to the south, which was not enough to allocate. Therefore, those officers and soldiers who could not be allocated women were presided over by Zhao Tuo and asked them to marry local Baiyu women in Guangdong. Wife, get married here and have children. After Zhao Tuo's death, as before, a large number of men from the Qin dynasty and the Han dynasty continued to intermarry with local Baiyu women in Guangdong. In biology, there is a DNA called mitochondria, which is inherited from the mother. Therefore, our anthropologists have continuously traced the distant mothers of Cantonese people based on this mitochondria, and found that 80% of them are consistent with Baiyu's genes. This is why anthropologists concluded that 80% of Cantonese are descendants of ancient Baiyu mothers. Imaginary map of the Great Qin Empire's southern expedition to Baiyu. Fact 2. Why is Cantonese so difficult to understand? We speak Hunan dialect, Jiangxi dialect, Hubei dialect, Sichuan dialect. These languages in the Yangtze River Basin can basically understand 40% to 60% of each other, but Cantonese is completely different. Basically I don't understand a word. Why is this so? Why is Cantonese so difficult to understand? The answer can be summed up in one word: Cantonese is different in that it is a mixture of ancient Chinese and Baiyu. Yes, Cantonese is a mixture of ancient Chinese and ancient Baiyu dialect. Language distribution map of Guangdong and Guangxi. I give some examples. For example, in Mandarin, collapse, and in Cantonese, pronounced lum, what the hell is this? The answer is, the words of the ancient Baiyu indigenous people. For example, in Mandarin, ich, and in Cantonese, mark, pronounce hen, what the hell is this mark? The answer is, the words of the ancient Baiyu indigenous people. In addition, in Mandarin, stomp feet, in Cantonese, pronounced, dumjik, this is also a word left over from the ancient Baiyu Aborigines language. Another example is here in Mandarin, and nedu in Cantonese. This, ni, is also a remnant of the ancient Baiyu language, and it also means this. Take the example of ancient Chinese again. He is spoken in Mandarin and Chu in Cantonese. In fact, Chu is ancient Chinese. In ancient Central Plains, Chu was used to mean he. Also, in Mandarin, give, and in Cantonese, give, this give is also the Chinese language of ancient Central Plains, which means give. The last one is finally in Mandarin, and death in Cantonese. In fact, this death is also an almost lost ancient Chinese, and it also means finally. Not only that, Cantonese, like Vietnamese, also has the habit of post-attributive. For example, in Mandarin, hen, in Cantonese, pronounced gai na, which means chicken mother, put the attributive later, the same as in Vietnamese today. Look, Cantonese is not only mixed with the ancient Chinese that has long been lost in the Central Plains, but also mixed with Baiyu vocabulary and Baiyu grammar. There are so many huge differences. Tell me, can you still understand Cantonese? Definitely don't understand. It's strange to understand. Fact 3. Why do Cantonese call their language vernacular? We Cantonese call the Cantonese we speak vernacular, but why not call it black? Why is it called vernacular? In fact, before modern times, vernacular meant local dialect, everyday colloquial language and straightforward colloquial language. Before modern times, not only the Cantonese dialect was called vernacular, but in fact, many places in China had their own vernacular. Here are a few examples. For example, before modern times, the local dialect of Suzhou people was called Subai, which means Suzhou vernacular. Another example, before modern times, the local dialect of Beijing was called Jingbei. In the same way, there are Xiangbei, Minbei, Yunbei, and other dialects, all of which are called vernacular. In the same way, the dialect spoken by Cantonese is called Guangbei, that is, Cantonese vernacular. That is to say, from a national perspective, vernacular does not specifically refer to Cantonese, and the dialects of various provinces and regions can be called vernacular. It is a misunderstanding that Cantonese people mistakenly think that vernacular refers to Cantonese. An analogy is equivalent to, Japanese people eat Japanese ramen since they were young. They don't know that China also has ramen, so Japanese people mistakenly think that ramen is a special product of Japan. In fact, Japanese ramen originated from China. Dear readers, did Lao Feng explain clearly? Imaginary map of the Great Qin Empire's southern expedition to Baiyu. Well, before modern times, there was another concept corresponding to vernacular called Mandarin. So what is the so-called official language? The thing is this, China has had the rule of not being an official locally since ancient times. For example, after a Wenzhou native wins Juren, the court cannot allow him to be the county magistrate of Wenzhou. Why? Because he was worried that his hometown's network of human relations is too rich, it is easy to breed favoritism, corruption, and perverting the law. Therefore, since ancient times in China, Wenzhou people have been elected. For example, the imperial court will arrange him to be the magistrate of Panyu. So here comes the problem, a mouthful of Wenzhou dialect. When I went to Panyu to become a county magistrate, I can't speak the native dialect of Panyu, Cantonese vernacular, and I can't understand the language. How can I be an official? The answer is, speak official language. What is official language? In fact, official language is the language spoken by the emperor, and the officials of the court at that time. It is called Guanhua, Beijing Guanhua, which is today's Mandarin. In order to get closer to the central government, the officials of the Qing dynasty tried their best to learn Mandarin, but it was not called Mandarin at that time, but Beijing Mandarin. Not only this Panyu County magistrate from Wenzhou speaks Beijing official dialect, Mandarin, but also all the masters, officials, etc. in the Yamen speak official dialect. Otherwise, they will not be able to communicate with their superiors. However, all the masters, officials, policemen, etc. in the Panyu County Yamen can speak Cantonese vernacular, abbreviated as vernacular, in addition to Mandarin. Otherwise, masters, officials, and fast catchers would not be able to act as bridges between the county magistrate and the people of Guangdong. Fact 4. Why was Guangdong not rich in ancient times? We know that in ancient times, Guangdong was not a very rich place. Why? In fact, to put it bluntly, in the farming society, the conditions in Guangdong are not the best. The Chinese farming civilization originated in the Yellow River Basin. Our Qin, Han, and Tang dynasties all had their capitals in the Yellow River Basin and the Guanzhou Plain. Why does the capital rely on plains? The answer is, in the farming era, the plain was a concentrated grain-producing area and the economic foundation of politics. The Guanzhou Plain had an area of 40,000 square kilometers. However, the good times didn't last long, the climate changed, Shaanxi became colder, and the economy declined. Therefore, starting from the Song dynasty, the economic center gradually moved eastward. Slowly, agriculture in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River developed, and the harvest far exceeded the Guanzhou Plain was back then. So, in the later Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties, Jiangnan was the most affluent place in China. The middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River Plain, the richest place in China since the Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties. The middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River Plain has an area of 200,000 square kilometers, 5 times the size of the Guanzhou Plain. Rich as hell. When the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom established Nanjing as its capital, it took a fancy to the economic center here, and first took down the money back, and then talked about it. So,
okay, you
let's
finish
get back to the
call
topic.
me.
Why wasn't Guangdong the
Okay,
wealthiest
就直
place
接回
in
家
ancient
okay?
times? The answer
别丢东
is,
西
the plains of Guangdong are too small.
OK， 拜拜。
The Pearl River Delta, the largest farming plain in Guangdong, is only 6,000 square kilometers, which is 33rd of the plain in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River. It is small. Topographic map of the Pearl River Delta Plain. The Chaoshan Plain, the second largest farming plain in Guangdong, is only 4,000 square kilometers, which is also very small. Therefore, in the ancient farming society, Guangdong could not compete properly in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River. This is why, since the Song, Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties, the number one scholar in the imperial examination has concentrated in the grain-producing areas centered on Jiangsu. So when did Guangdong really get rich in Chinese history? The answer is, reform and opening up. Yes, Guangdong became rich after the reform and opening up, and this has a lot to do with its proximity to Hong Kong. Note, when we say that Guangdong was not rich in ancient times, it does not mean that Guangzhou is not rich, and Guangdong does not equal Guangzhou. In fact, Guangzhou, as a 1,000-year-old commercial capital, has always been relatively rich. Fact 5. Why is there a significant difference between the climate of Guangdong and Hunan? The two provinces of Guangdong and Hunan are obviously close neighbors. Why are the climates of the two provinces so different? The answer is, because of Nanling. Location map of Nanling. Nanling, also known as Five Ridges, Yueshengling, Dupangling, Menzoling, Kishanling, Daoling, lies between Guangdong and Hunan. In the poem Seven Laws The Long March, the Five Ridges meander and the fine waves refers to the Five Ridges, that is, Nanling. The Nanling, or Five Ridges, is the largest transverse mountain range in southern China. This Nanling, it lies there quietly, it doesn't speak, you don't know what it does. Do you know what Nanling did? The answer is, Nanling blocks the cold air from the north from going south. The towering Nanling Mountains block the cold air from the north and prevent it from invading Guangdong. Whenever the cold air from Siberia hits, it blows all the way down from north to south, and when it reaches Nanling, it is blocked by Nanling. Part of the cold air barely climbed over the Nanling Mountains and successfully invaded Guangdong, but the intensity has been greatly weakened. Location map of Nanling. This is why, the latitude difference between Hunan and Guangdong is not too big, but Hunan is much, much colder than Guangdong. It is because Nanling blocked part of the cold air. At the same time, there is another thing, that is, the hot and humid air from the south to the north is also blocked by the Nanling, so the hot air from Guangdong is also weakened when it goes north to Hunan. Fact 6. After Qin attacked Baiyu, where were the descendants of Baiyu? We all know that Guangdong was the land of Baiyu, Aboriginal people, before the Qin dynasty. The Qin dynasty sent troops to attack Baiyu, which was called Qin's attack on Baiyu in history. Then, the Central Plains Empire began to rule this place. Then at this time, Baiyu began to wander and flee in all directions. Interestingly, there was a general named Zhao Tuo in the Qin dynasty. After he conquered Lingnan, he ignored the orders of the central government and established the Nanyu Kingdom in Guangdong. It was destroyed. After the soldiers of the Han dynasty destroyed the Nanyu Kingdom, Baiyu once again fled and dispersed in all directions out of panic. So, where did Baiyu, who fled from Guangdong, go? The Zhuang people are descendants of Baiyu. The answer is that Baiyu dispersed to the west and south, settled in places of choice, and later gradually evolved into or integrated into what we know today, Zhuang, Dong, Baiai, Malau, Minnan, Li, Dai, Shi, Nan, Jing, etc. The Thais, also the descendants of Baiyu, are a branch that has gone far. The history textbooks of Thailand clearly state that the Thais originated from southern China. However, it is worth noting that not all the Baiyu in Guangdong ran away. A considerable part of them obeyed the management of the Qin and Han empires. Strong Baiyu lineage. For the link of Lao Feng's 20 live video lessons, please click link of Feng Shuirong's 20 online lessons. Recently, the Beodu police released a typical case of telecommunications fraud using artificial intelligence, AI. Mr. Guo, the legal representative of a technology company in Fuzhou, was defrauded of 4.3 million yuan within 10 minutes. At noon on April 20th, a friend of Mr. Guo suddenly contacted him via WeChat video. After a short chat, the friend told Mr. Guo that his friend was bidding in another place and needed a deposit of 4.3 million yuan, and he needed a business-to-business account transfer. The account of Mr. S company has been debited. It was just helping a friend to pay the bill, and Mr. Guo agreed without thinking about it. Click backhand index pointing up, follow me, star mark. 01. Recently, the Bayotu police released a typical case of telecommunications fraud using artificial intelligence, AI. Mr. Guo, the legal representative of a technology company in Fuzhou, was defrauded of 4.3 million yuan within 10 minutes. At noon on April 20th, a friend of Mr. Guo suddenly contacted him via WeChat video. After a short chat, the friend told Mr. Guo that his friend was bidding in another place and needed a deposit of 4.3 million yuan, and he needed a business-to-business account transfer. The account of Mr. S company has been debited. It was just helping a friend to pay the bill, and Mr. Guo agreed without thinking about it. The friend asked for the bank card number from Mr. Guo, claiming to have transferred the money to Mr. Guo's account, and sent a screenshot of the bank transfer slip to Mr. Guo via WeChat. Based on his trust in his friend and the verification of his identity through video chat, Mr. Guo transferred 4.3 million to his friend's bank card in 2 installments without verifying whether the money had arrived. After the transfer was successful, Mr. Guo sent a WeChat message to his friend, saying that the matter had been settled. Unexpectedly, my friend replied with a question mark. Mr. Guo called his friend, only to find out that he had encountered a high-end telecom fraud. The scammer pretended to be a friend through intelligent AI face-changing and onomatopoeia technology to defraud him. From the beginning to the end, he didn't mention the loan to me. He said that he would call me the money first, and then let me transfer it to his friend's account. Moreover, he called me in the video at that time, and I also said in the video. I confirmed the face and voice, so I relaxed my guard, Mr. Guo said. Not only that, but the receiving account provided by the friend is also a corporate account of Menchang Bank in Bayotu City, which is another reason for Mr. Guo to relax his vigilance. Fortunately, after receiving the alarm, the police banks in Fuzhou and Bayotu quickly activated the payment stop mechanism, and successfully stopped the payment of 3.3684 million yuan, but 931,600 yuan was still transferred, and they are currently pursuing it with all their strength. 02. Obviously, Mr. Guo met a group of high-end scammers and customized a special fraud script for him. The scammer not only understands AI face-changing and voice print technology, but also accurately grasps the relationship information between Mr. Guo and his friends, and prepares to collect money from the public account for this. During the fraud, the scammer did not use a simulated friend WeChat to add Mr. Guo as a friend, but directly used the friend WeChat to initiate a video chat, which is one of the reasons why Mr. Guo was deceived. It is very likely that the scammers stole the WeChat of Mr. Guo's friends through technical means. This case, together with several recent telecom fraud cases using AI technology, will become a milestone case in the history of telecom fraud, marking that telecom fraud has officially entered the era of intelligence and customization. Mr. Li in Fuzhou also encountered AI fraud. The scammer pretended to be Mr. Li's leader and made a WeChat video call, and then said that relatives needed funds to participate in the bidding, and it was inconvenient for him to come forward, so he wanted to use Mr. Li's name to transfer to relatives. As a result, Mr. Li was cheated of 48,000 yuan. Xiao Lu from Changzhou was also deceived. The scammer pretended to be Xiao Liu's junior high school classmate and asked Xiao Lu to borrow money. He not only sent a voice message to Xiao Lu, but also made a video call. After Xiao Lu saw the real person, he believed the other party and borrowed 6,000 yuan to the liar. Xiao Wang, the financial manager of a company, received a call from the leader and asked to transfer 20,000 yuan to the supplier immediately, and send the transfer information by email. The reason for the transfer was to avoid paying late fees. Because the boss's accent was very realistic, Xiao Wan believed it was true and completed the transfer within an hour, but later found out that he was cheated. Xiao Li's college classmates borrowed money from her through QQ. The other party made a 4 to 5 second video call, and Xiao Li saw that it was indeed him, so he felt relieved to transfer 3,000 yuan. However, she felt abnormal during the second transfer, so she called the other party again, only to learn that her classmate's account had been stolen. The police found through investigation that this video was forged by scammers using AI technology. One was a WeChat video from a police officer from a police station outside the province. The other party claimed that one was suspected of money laundering and other crimes and needed to transfer money to a safety account. Suspicious, eventually deceived. 03. The development of science and technology has benefited mankind, but also brought some side effects. The use of high technology to carry out telecom fraud is equivalent to a dimensionality reduction attack for ordinary people, and it is completely a cross-field crush. The deepfake technology in AI face changing can replace the face in the video with only one frontal photo. What is even more frightening is a real-time face changing technology in video chat, which can directly replace the face photo in the video chat. Let the photos do actions according to your face. Winking and chatting are not a problem. A Russian programmer thought it was boring to hold a video conference at home, so he developed such a software that can change his face to anyone for video chatting. Musk, Ma Yun, Ma Weitan, Shenma can be used. Let the boss and colleagues. I mistakenly thought that the boss entered the venue randomly. At the same time, voice print technology has long been used to simulate voices. You only need to obtain other people's voice clips for a few seconds, and you can simulate other people's voices through voice print technology. This is the Lin Chilean navigation voice package that old drivers love most. Here. As early as 2019, the Wall Street Journal reported that criminals successfully imitated the voice of the CEO of a British energy company's parent company in Germany, defrauding a huge sum of €220,000. One day, AI face changing derailed the voice print simulation technology, and gave birth to a natural fraud artifact simulated video chat. If you have enough personal information of the victim, steal the WeChat account, and customize a fraud script for one person, the success rate can reach 100% in theory. In the past month, on social platforms, netizens from all over the world have successively posted scams about hacked WeChat and QQ accounts. After they clicked on the compressed file sent by the customer, the computer was infected with a virus and remotely controlled. Their WeChat account and QQ account were stolen, and they frantically pulled people into fraudulent groups and posted marketing advertisements, and some WeChat accounts were permanently blocked. 04. Suppose one day, your wife calls to video chat and asks you to pay the bill for buying an air conditioner. The boss or a friend who has been with you for many years asks you to pay the bill. The boss of the company wants to pay you as the financial. The face and voice have confirmed that it is the person. Will you transfer and pay? After reading this article, you may pat your chest and swear that you will not be deceived. What happened before you read this article? You haven't been cheated yet, not because you are so smart, nor because you have no money, but the script that suits you is still on the way. We worked hard for a year and earned tens of thousands of dollars, and a fraud may defraud us of 10 years of wages. The editor has summarized several key points to prevent such intelligent and customized fraud. Please keep in mind. 1. Be suspicious of anything on the internet, whether it's video, voice, or video chat. This is the first basic principle. 2. If you encounter money-related problems online, you must verify the situation from the side. You can verify the situation by calling, but do not call the phone number provided by the other party. 3. If someone asks you to help transfer the account, no matter how old the leader or how familiar the person is, you must verify it, and you must wait for the money to arrive before transferring the account. 4. The Public Security Bureau does not have a security account, and the police will not handle cases online. If an online policeman says you have committed a crime, ask him to contact your local police station. You can also call 110 for consultation. 5. Don't click on unfamiliar links, don't download unfamiliar software, and don't add unfamiliar friends casually, to prevent viruses in mobile phones and computers, and WeChat, QQ, etc. from being stolen. 6. Pay attention to the official account National Anti-Fraud and spend a few minutes every day actively learning anti-fraud knowledge. No one knows when the latest technology and routines will appear in telecom fraud. Finally, please move your fingers to forward this article to your circle of friends and relatives and friends, so that they can also understand this kind of scam and prevent being deceived. Material source Ping and Baodu, Jiaoka Political Law, etc. Recommended reading, click